going to focus on the money making one because that's all we can remember. And I also said I wasn't touching on this today. I said I was going to touch on it Sunday, so we had a full week. Also, Sunday is Super Bowl fucking Sunday. So if some of you guys are with family and shit and you guys are doing stuff early in the day, I completely understand. I'm still going to be having the call because, to be honest with you, football's cool. I don't give a fuck enough to change my routine for it. So I'm still be on the call. I'm not changing anything up. So Sunday, we're going to actually go into it and I'll have structured questions for you and answers to teach you guys everything. But I do expect you guys to know what I'm talking about on Sunday. Today, I'm just kind of seeing who did what early. The biggest thing is the wealthy you don't work for money. Time does not equate to money, right? So the main lesson in that on the surface is that if you equate time to money, you only have a limited, finite amount of time. Money is unlimited. You can print as much as you want. You can make as much as you want. You just got to understand where it flows. Something that is finite cannot equal something that is infinite. That makes sense? They cannot be the same. All right? You cannot equate time to money. All right? If you're working a job, you're making $25 an hour. If you are tattooing and you charge hourly, $200 an hour, you know you're only making $200 an hour. You're still equating time to money, right? You are limiting how much you can make and you're limiting how much resources you have, okay? What the wealthy do is they make money work for them, right? Or what I'll do, you guys work for money to buy things. I work for money to pay other people to do things for me. Can somebody tell me why I do that?
Gives you more time.
I'm buying back my time. Money's a tool, man. It's not the end result. If your end result is money, you're chasing the wrong thing. You need to chase a goal. That's why I did all the unrealistic goals. You need to chase the goal and understand how much money you need. You're not chasing the money. You're chasing the goal and money will come. Why? Because that money is what's going to afford you your dream. So when you guys are writing those goals and reverse engineering it, okay, I need to make $500 a day to hit this by 20. You understand you're not chasing the money. You're just allocating it so you can have the end goal. That makes sense? Right? Once you learn how to make money work for you, it's everything. The second thing, what I'm going to say, which I spoke to Lucas about when he was here, I blew Lucas's fucking mind, dude. We went to dinner like the way that me, RJ, and Lee went. We fucking went to dinner, spoke for a little bit, and he just asked business questions. And when I tell you he had no fucking idea some of the stuff I was talking about, it was cool seeing the light bulbs like go off in his head. I'm going to get into this like later on, but if I just get right into it, everyone's going to be confused. The only way you can make money. Okay. So the only way that you can make more money is by essentially providing a higher value service, right? So the only way Darius can charge more for his tattoos is having higher quality or having more of a reputation, essentially, right? So that's the only way he can charge more than what he does now. Okay. Once his quality goes up, the value goes up. How much people are willing to pay will also increase, right? You can make more money that way. Does it really matter if you make more money if when you pay taxes, your taxes rise too? Does it really matter if you make more money? Doesn't fucking matter. If you make $1,000 and they tax you at 20%, how much are they taking?
200.
200, right? Tax. Now let's say, hey, Darius just doubled his prices. He's in a new tax bracket. Now he's charging $2,000 a day. But guess what? He's being taxed 40%. What the fuck does that equate to? You're losing the same ratio. You make double, you're losing double. You get what I'm saying? The only way for you to be wealthy and rich, whatever word you want to use for now, I'm going to, straighten that out. Whatever you want to use, you are going to lose any day of the week if you are paying everything to taxes. I got to let my dog in because this motherfucker is just standing on the door right now. You're going to lose more to taxes. If you lose more to taxes, you keep less. The only way for you to become wealthy is to keep more. And that's how you got to play the tax system. So long game, financially, long game. Trump, everybody, I touched this on the last one. Anybody who's super wealthy, they're in copious amounts of debt. Can somebody tell me why?
Pretty much buying assets, no? Putting their money into an asset of some sort.
Surface level, yep.
That is actually your friend. but like you can't
Why?
be scared of
Why?
it, like
Can't tax
because
debt.
yeah, you can't tax debt. You can't tax on a loan.
You cannot fucking tax debt. Now, there's good debt and there's bad debt. And this is going to be the biggest lesson of your life because I know it seems like something that everybody knows when I tell you it's not. Dude, if you get in a room with 10 fucking people, you and one other person is going to know that. Nobody fucking knows that because people just walk along life and they don't fucking really take advantage of what this country, the structure and how it's set up. You cannot tax debt. So a real life example is you buy a house for 100 grand, you hold it for a fucking year, right? The market goes up, it's worth 150 grand. You have that mortgage for 100 grand, right? You refinance because it's worth more. You can get a loan for what it's currently worth. Yo, chill the fuck out. You can get a loan for what it's really worth, right? Now you have a loan for 150,000. And what you're thinking is, why the fuck would I take out more money? I just have to pay off more money, right? Wrong. Again, let's use this as like it's a rental property, asset. An asset, okay. Asset and liability. Asset is something that puts money in your pocket. Liability is something that takes money out of your pocket, okay? The biggest fallacy in this country is that your house is your biggest asset. It's not. A house is a liability unless you have a tenant in it. Does that make sense? So in this sense of an asset, I want to clarify that now because I didn't clarify that prior. Since Logan said to buy an asset would be a house in real estate that a tenant is renting. So you don't have to worry about who is paying rent, right? A very secure way is Section 8. Section 8, the government pays you. You don't even have to worry about the fucking tenant. That's what I'm currently getting into, right? So your mortgage is currently being paid off by the government or by your tenant for this example, and it's worth $100,000. You go refinance for $150,000. Here's the fucking trick. That 150 grand, you take that initial 100, you pay off the first loan. Now you have one mortgage worth 150 grand, but someone else is paying that mortgage for you because they live in that house, right? How much do you have left? If you paid 100 and you got 150, how much do you have left? Say that shit. I'm listening.
I said 50.
50.
I was muted though.
I didn't hear it.
Yeah, I was muted too.
I think I was muted. I
You
wasn't
got
sure.
50 grand. That 50 grand is now in your pocket, tax-free. The government can tax that. They cannot fucking take money out of your pocket for that. So
Okay.
at the end of the year, when you have, like for me, this year, I have no idea how much I owe in taxes, but I know I'm going to be spending anywhere from 40 grand to probably 80 grand on taxes alone, right? You have two options. Pay the government that 40 to 80, or go buy something worth 40 to 80 grand that you can write off and essentially call break even, right? That's why these people buy jets. That's why these people buy planes. That's why these people buy essentially depreciating assets that they can write off, but still make money on in the back end, right? So an easy way to make you understand this, because it was very hard for me to fully understand, like buying an object and getting a write-off off of it. You don't pay tax. You're good. You don't pay tax until you sell on a lot of items, right? One easy way to remember is the stock market. If you buy a stock, you don't pay a capital gains tax until you sell that stock. Get it? So a lot of people I know, actually, they'll buy Bitcoin, and what they'll do, there's a loophole, and I might botch this, but for the sake of the example, what you'll do is you'll buy Bitcoin 1 year, like you'll buy it in the beginning of this year, get rid of your money. The next year, you'll sell it right there. The tax you're paying on that is considered like a depreciative, it's like a depreciable asset with crypto specifically. It's fucking weird. I'm going to find out the exact equation for you guys, but people have this loophole with Bitcoin. You buy Bitcoin, you spend the money, you're going to be taxed 40% on average of anything really with capital gains to 40% on average, right? So you're almost half. You really have to have a good ROI on that shit. A lot of my friends, I'm going to find out the tax loophole because I actually might take advantage of this if I owe fucking 80 grand. If you buy a Bitcoin 1 year, the separation of dates, like 1 year to the next physical, that's where that tax gain is brought on. Essentially, you could buy something, no tax. So when you buy the house, you don't pay tax on that sale except for essentially the sales tax, that immediate time, right? You pay tax again when you sell. To avoid paying that tax on the back end for when you sell, you just never sell. That's why you buy so much real estate and you refinance. That's how you keep making money on it, tax-free money. So you can either sell and pay tax on it and get the whole lump sum of 150 grand in your pocket, Or you can get another loan and get a third of that in your pocket tax-free. So you owe nobody nothing.
So are you saying like, say you're about to pay like 40 grand in taxes, but instead of paying that 40 grand, you're gonna put that 40 grand to your floors, like how you kind of did?
Yes.
Is that okay?
Literally exactly that. Literally exactly that. So good example. You can also do this. This is another strategy, which I'll explain, but imagine there's no separation of years, right? So oh yeah, no, I could teach you guys a lot right now, but I'm not going that fucking deep. It's gonna be too much for you to fully take in today. For my floor specifically, real life example, I spent 9 grand. For this sake, I'm gonna make it around number 10. I spent 10 grand on the first guy. He fucked my floors up. I still spent $10,000. That's still money out of my pocket. I didn't receive a product. That's still money out of my pocket, right? So I can do 2 things there. I can claim it as bad debt, which means I tell the IRS, hey, I could tell him straight up, yo, you don't got to give me the money back. Don't even worry about it. I'm never going to see that money. Whether or not he wants to pay me back, he's not going to pay me back. I'm never going to see that money. You know how I can fuck him on the back end? Pause. You know how I can fuck him on the back end? Go to the IRS, say it's bad debt with him. So now I still get the write-off for 10K. This is the only way I get the write-off for that 10K. I get the write-off for 10K. The government writes that off on my taxes. So I'll owe essentially a percentage of that 10K less. Now the IRS knows he made 10K on a job he didn't finish. He doesn't need to essentially show that income. Now the government knows he has 10,000 of mine. They still want their money. So if you do bad debt on somebody else's job, now I don't got to go after you for my cash. I'll get it from the IRS. Now you got to deal with the fucking IRS. And when I say the IRS is the one fucking gang in America that you cannot escape, that's how I see them. They want their money for no fucking reason. They'll come knocking on your door and they'll fucking take it. They don't care. You get what I'm saying? They will not ask. They will take your shit. It doesn't matter. Legally. So it's like they'll garnish. Oh, yeah, it's another thing. They'll garnish your wages. So let's say, again, Darius, I'm going to use you an example. Also, I'm going to say something fucking awesome. Darius is now part of my team with Khalil. He's going to be, because he steps in so fucking much, I decided to give him a position as more of a teacher, more of a leader in this. So when we take on more people, when I do the subgroups, the beginner, the intermediate, and the professionals, he's going to be on essentially our team teaching everybody and making sure everything is good. So when I cannot respond and he has the knowledge to respond like he's been doing without me asking, I'm now just compensating him for that because he's adding a lot of value for everybody. So welcoming Darius to the team, that's why I'm using him as an example, right? So the IRS has the authority to levy or seize your property, including garnishing your wages. Do you know what it means to garnish your wages? Say it again, Lee. Yeah, I just learned this shit the other day. I didn't know about this. This is something super fucking useful. So Darius's girl, she also does, she's
a nail tech.
That's what I thought. Okay, cool. So she's a nail tech, right? They both have the opportunity to make really good money, right? Let's say Darius decides, I know I made 100 grand this year, but I'm only going to claim 80. But the government can see that 100, right? He gets taxed on the 80. Government finds out about the 100. Darius owes more in taxes. Darius says, I'm not paying it. I just don't want to. Whether I have the money right now or not, I ain't paying that shit. Fuck them. They're not getting it. Here's the thing. If Darius and his girl lives in the same household, if they're married, if they're together, same address, what the government can do, what the IRS can do is go and they can take the money and add it onto her taxes because they're getting that fucking money. Now, here's another fucked up scenario. See, Logan, I see that look. You're like, oh, fuck. Like, if you have a girl and you're married and she works a normal job, W-2, that's what they receive. They'll take it right out of the paycheck. They'll take it right out of the paycheck before she sees it. You'll do, yeah, like you won't be told, you won't get a letter. They have no right to tell you a goddamn thing. They want their money back. They're going to take it. So the only way, and I can't further this enough, the only way to be wealthy is to keep more, not save more, keep more. Which I'm going to make this statement and I'm going to let you guys figure out when you guys get into Rich Dad Poor Dad. If you have savings, a lump sum in just savings sitting in an account, you're a fucking idiot.
Roth.
Roth IRA, one, huge one, right? You can go S&P 500. You can run that. You can run an index fund. You can run a long-term option. You can run a high yield savings account, right? That's what I have. I have a high yield savings account at 4.5%, and I make probably 800 a month on that. Then again, it's a lump sum, but I still make a little bit, right? That 800 a month keeps me at essentially market value for my money. If you hold 10 grand in a savings account, fire. If you hold 10 grand in a savings account and you just let it sit, you're like, all right, I have 10 grand. I can't touch it. I got to keep it. Every day our dollar is getting, I mean, now with Trump, hopefully it'll gain more value, but every day our dollar is losing more and more value. More and more value. If you just have your money sitting, it was 10 grand, but with prices rising and you still keeping 10 grand, what it was worth is not what it's currently worth. So you need to put your money somewhere where it keeps the same value. Not the same number, same value, if that makes sense. Right? So if you have 10 grand and you want a motorcycle, you want a bike, you want a Harley, and that Harley is $10,000. You wait 2 months, you're like, I'm gonna wait, I'm gonna save a little bit more. That Harley is now $11,000. Why the fuck did the price go up? Why? Well, he just added tariffs in. It's gonna cost more to bring materials in. It's gonna cost more to make that bike, right? But you still only have $10,000. The value of that 10,000 a month ago is not the value of that 10,000 today. So the smartest thing you can do is, Darius, thankfully, I have this answer. Again, why I trust him to help with you guys and all of us, because he's teaching me also. Roth IRA. If you get a Roth IRA, it's very, very simple. It's, for the most part, tax-free. You have to pay tax when you take it out, or you pay tax when you put it in. It's one or the other, right? It's sticky. There's ways around it where you don't have to pay tax, but it's very, very specific, right? A cool thing about a Roth IRA, which I really want you guys to open. If you can open one fucking thing, it's like a savings account that you can't pull out, right?
Yeah.
You throw money in it. You can throw anywhere from $5 to $6,000 a month. 6,000 is the max. The earlier you set it up, the more money you'll have at the back end.
Yep.
All right. So the biggest thing with this, again, time, something you can't get back. So Damien, if Damien and Darius open an IRA today, because Damien is 17 and Darius is it 23 or 24? Am I bugged out on that? Beautiful. 24. Damien has 7 years. 7 years on Darius. Compound interest. And if you don't know what compound interest is, it doubles, but it's not like 2, 4, 6. No, it's 2, 4, 8, 16, 32 exponential. So it doesn't look like this. It looks like fucking that, right? So those 7 years is going to be a difference. They both are allowed to take the money out at 65. There's a Roth IRA. They can both take the money out at 65. All right. Darius is 24. If he throws $1,000 in now and never puts another fucking denomination in, $1,000 now and lets that accrue interest till he's 65, let's say it's $1 million. The 7-year difference of $1,000 compound interest, Damien will probably have 7 or 8 million. He'll have substantially more, same amount invested. If you don't have a Roth IRA, start it now. Start it ASAP. Fucking run it. All right. That's the biggest thing I could say. Huh, that's crazy. Yeah. So that is, we'll talk about it in a minute. So that is, I don't know if that doesn't tell you how important time is. I really don't know what else can. Like, I really don't. You can make more bread. You can't get more time back. Like, simple enough. So if I can urge you guys to do one thing, it would be open a Roth IRA, because it's a consistent 7 to 8% compound interest every single year. That's right in line with the S&P 500. That's right in line with the Dow Jones. It's right in line with everything else, just zero risk. And here's another thing with the Roth IRA. You can take money out, but you're not just pulling it out. You have to pay it back. But you have to pay it back with interest. When you pay it back with interest, you're not paying it back to just a random fucking bank or a random person. You're paying it back to yourself. So if you pull money out of your Roth IRA, let's say you pull out 1,000, you could pull it out at any time. Darius can do it right now if he has that in there. When he pulls it out, he needs to pay it back with interest. That interest also goes to you. That interest also goes back into your account. So it's only beneficial, right? People do this with Roth IRAs. People do this with life insurance. Life insurance is a whole different topic. You can essentially be your own banking system, which I'll teach you guys about once you guys finish this Rich Dad Poor Dad shit, because you'll have a better grasp as to really the financial system and financial literacy. I can't really teach you about life insurance because it's going to be way too much. I'm still grasping all of that. So yeah, time does not equate to money.
I will
Money
also say, I will also say, with the way the world is, if you have a Roth IRA, I don't know if you touched on it, Steven. I walked out. Depending on what the percentage is at the end of the year, is how much you'll gain. So say you put $1,000 and the percent is 10%. What is that? What'd you say, Logan? Sorry, you're on mute, bro.
I'm in.
Right. So every year, if you if you leave 1,000 every year, bro, it's $100 extra that you didn't have to do nothing for. You did zero, bro, just to gain an extra $100, letting your money sit in a Roth IRA. Think about that. You could, bro, every month. Think about it.
Literally doing nothing.
Tax
But
free.
now here's the beautiful part. So I'm gonna go on top of that, right? So I didn't explain that as simple as that. I'm gonna go further. The compound interest, like I said, exponentially. You started with 1,000, you just earned 100, like Darius said. Now you're not earning 100, you're earning that 10% on 100. Oh, sorry, what is it? 1,100? Yeah, 1,100. Now you're earning that 10% on 1,100. Throw that back in there. Now you're earning 10% on that number. So it exponentially grows. It's higher and higher and higher. You're not only earning 10% on just that 1,000. Whatever you just earned, you're earning a 10% now on that. Get what I'm saying? It's greater than what you think. That is the only way. If you can find out how to compound anything in life, you win. You can't run out. Like that's how that goes generally. So I have a Roth IRA. Do you have a Roth IRA? Yeah, Lee has a Roth IRA. It's smart to have. It's really your only form of retirement if you are self-employed. Because we don't have a 401k. We don't have anything like that. We don't have everybody technically has Social Security, but nobody's getting paid out Social Security right now. So also the hot take, which they talk about also in Rich Dad, is pensions and Social Security. Don't depend on it. If you have a regular job or anybody around you has a regular job, the government can only print so much money and we can only get in so much debt. So pensions, I believe that they will not get paid out in the next coming years. I also believe that they're currently not being paid out the way that they should be. When it comes to Social Security, a lot of people have already said that well ran dry. So you can't really hope on that. You can't base your life on government assisted retirement programs, even if you're putting all your money away in it. Roth IRA though, that's on you. Say it louder. You can do a simple IRA, Roth IRA. It's the same thing, just different terms essentially.
Slightly different, but there's different benefits.
So like I said, same thing, different terms. To keep it simple.
Steven, I want to talk to you about this. I think you can expand on it. I'm like set on trying to buy a house by the end of this year. I don't want my girlfriend to open up her own business. So I said, let's get a 3-bedroom house. And as long as that room is more than 350 square foot, we'll write that off as a business part of our house, and we can write that off on taxes. That's something that,
Yeah.
if you ought to know that you can use your own house as a business. You can use any vehicle. If you want to buy a motorcycle to go to work or for fun, you write it off as a work vehicle. You can write off every single mile that you put on that bike, every single tank that you fill up, every single thing you do with the vehicle that you want for fun, you can use as a business vehicle.
A mess. It's a perfect example though. Yeah. Everything you just said. Exactly. Right. So this is our messy fucking apartment right now. Forgive me. I live a real life and I'm not clean. So apartment, right? Bedroom, which I'm actually not going to show you. That's fun. That's like, we could at least make the bed, you know, we didn't get up that fucking early. Bathroom. Yeah, I know it's fucked up. Bedroom. Then I have the laundry room. Then I have bathroom, side room, right? We have a guest room. I don't like people in my house. I never use the guest room. So as long as it's big enough, this room, also a mess, forgive me, but it's a good example. This mess of a fucking room with a bed and a desk. If I use this desk to do these calls an hour, 2 hours a week, I write this whole fucking room off because this is my home office. So you get a deduction based on your rent because this room is used as an office. I'm getting write-offs currently on this room. Look how fucking dirty it is. Dude, I have a fucking 6-foot punching bag on the floor. What? You get to write this room off. You get what I'm saying? It's a perfect example of how you run the tax system. Kai, come on, get out of here. Come on. Thank you. That is a beautiful, perfect example of how far write-offs go. Right? Go ahead. Yeah, all of that is from Christmas. So wrapping shit and fucking extra stuff that we don't use, but we got as gifts. It's just sitting there, so I do apologize. Yeah. Dude, taxes and understanding how you can legally pay less taxes is the only way to be wealthy.